Sustainability is defined as being the ability to be maintained at a certain rate or level. This is the topic of today's video, and I really do want to talk about that definition of sustainability. There are a lot of talks around or surrounding sustainability when it comes to the ecology of our world, our building practices, and our business practices, but I want to talk about sustainability on two fronts today. First, I want to talk about sustainability in your life or my life, and second, I want to talk about the sustainability of social media. So let's go ahead and dive into the first topic. In my life, there are a lot of things that I view as not sustainable. A lot of times I'm up late working on a project, and that ends up forcing me to have less sleep. And that's mainly my fault. I'm not blaming any professor or anything like that. I took the maximum amount of credits for my college because I want to be challenged. I took I have a social life, and I do feed into that a lot, which is sustainable, but a lot of times it leads me to push off work or anything like that. I don't wait to the last minute because that would be impossible in my program, but I do wait until the last moment in a day to do things a lot of times. So I'm up late in the early morning completing a project that I have to present the next day, or mainly it's a critique or something at my desk, but I know that my life is not a sustainable practice, and that leads me a lot of times to get into the topic of I just got to make it to the next weekend. I just got to make it to the next weekend. Got to make it to the next weekend. Got to make it this summer. There's only a few weeks left in the semester, and I am in that mindset now, and I'm sure a lot of people are as well. And I actually know that a lot of people are because I've talked to them. They always talk to me, and they say the same thing I just said. I gotta make it to this weekend. But I want you now to look at your life and ask yourself, are the things I'm doing sustainable for myself? And if the answer is no, I don't want you to ask, how can I solve it? I want you to ask, why? Why is my life not sustainable? A lot of times, problems don't necessarily need solutions. You have to define the reason why it's happening and then target that. So, for example, my life is not sustainable because I stay up late at night. Why do I stay up late at night? Well, because I waited till the last minute to do work. Why did I wait till the last minute to do work? Because I feel like I need to take back control of my life a little bit and have some fun. Why do I feel like I need to take back my life? Because I have a lot on my plate. I have too much on my plate. Now we have something that we can work with. We can target any number of those things that I just answered the question why to, instead of focusing on going to bed earlier, because that's not a sustainable solution. You also have to have sustainable solutions too. So there's really no better word to describe our lives at this moment than unsustainable or sustainability. So let's target that first one, or I guess the last one. Why do I have too much on my plate? I feel like I have too much on my plate because I need to set myself apart in some way from my peers. I love my peers and I want them to do well in their career, but I also need to put myself aside a little bit and show off my skills. My skills tend to come from the ability to show my work or present my work. So therefore, it goes down that rabbit hole and ends up me staying up late trying to put that work in its new box. So I want you to ask yourself those sorts of things. And if there's anything on your mind that you need help answering, maybe you get to that fifth ring of whys and you find why your life is unsustainable, but you don't quite know how to fix it, I want you to leave a comment below. I want people to see why other people's lives aren't sustainable, so that we can all benefit each other. The purpose of this channel is not to yap for 10 minutes each video. It's to benefit you and me and all of us in the community. So as this community grows, and I'm seeing a little bit of growth on the videos that I've posted already, I want that growth not to go to waste. I want these videos not to go to waste. One person's opinion is not enough to develop a solution to our lives. So leave those comments. I read all of them, and I'll comment down below getting us started on this. Something that I find unsustainable in my life. But let's talk about that second topic for a minute. So the second topic again was sustainability in social media, or sustainability on the internet. I believe that the internet has kind of put itself in a place where there's a certain level of mutually assured destruction, or MAD. And I feel this way because I watched the movie Dr. Strangelove recently for one of my classes, and I found it hilarious that on sort of multiple levels. So the first level is it's a comedy movie. It's kind of disguised as a war movie, but it 100% is a comedy movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's hilarious. But there's something that they talk about where there's sort of a gap in they make a joke at the very end of the movie that in the real world there was something called the missile gap, where if they felt like the Soviet Union, or if the United States felt like the Soviet Union was getting ahead, they'd have to churn out more missiles, so they closed that missile gap. But in reality, it would have taken 5 missiles from each country to completely destroy a lot of the world. So there's no reason to have 1 million of them. But they make a joke in the movie where the end of the world is near, and they're worried about a mine shaft gap with the Soviet Union, where they're shoving everyone underground to get in the mines. So even when they're being destroyed, they're worried about that competition. And I feel that social media is kind of reaching that point a little bit. There's no difference now from Instagram Reels and TikTok. There's really no conceivable difference. And they keep putting more and more advertisements in there to support their stakeholders, of course. But there's only so many quarters in a row where you can have growth for your company before things start collapsing a little bit. Every company, unless you're like Apple or Google or something, will fall at some point because it just falls out of favor. But if you're Instagram, you kind of put yourself in a box a little bit here, because you need to deliver for your stakeholders, but there's nowhere for your company to go anymore. It's a defined app. So when TikTok releases short form entertainment, Instagram's like, we gotta put that in there. So they're trying to close that gap between these companies, and it's just causing them all to be the same thing. So I deleted TikTok, but guess what? Now I'm just scrolling on Instagram. And another thing is advertisements. Advertisements are an important part of the internet, and I do feel that they are necessary. The internet is free, but nothing in our life is free, so we pay for it by watching advertisements. A lot of times you can pay to get your way out of advertisements on a lot of apps or things on the App Store, but there's only so much time in a day that you can look at a screen and see advertisements, and I feel like the companies know this. So they've started implementing these algorithms that get you hooked in there. And I feel like YouTube is not the same, which is why I make content on YouTube and not the other ones. But I feel like this is an unsustainable business practice. And I will probably go into more in depth in another video soon about this, but I'm kind of getting close to that 10-minute mark, so I want to wrap it up a little bit. Once again, I want you to comment down below. What's something unsustainable in your life? Ask yourself why, ask yourself why, ask yourself why, and then comment that down below. And if I read something and you want a little bit of help on it, I'll cover it in the next video. So if you don't feel like commenting it, put it in the email. There's an email in my links or whatever. I'll comment it down below as well. But thank you all for watching. I'll see you soon.